Hot football. Oh, that is beautiful. That is one of the best goals of the tournament.
It's hashtag football on 216.
It's not DNA, it's RSA.
What a fantastic goal that is. Champ of champions.
Well, a very good evening to you and yours. Welcome to it. It's Football on 216, the hub of all things development football. This is where the passion is local. This is where the insights are certainly sharp. But let me tell you, the love certainly runs deep. Lina Lakakitimeleng Khosikhadia Khabanda, always excited and delighted to be in your company. And as you know, it is officially Women's Month. It is August. So allow me to say Happy Women's Month to every single queen out there. May this be a month that reminds you of the power, the worth, and the strength that you possess. Now, you know, Football on 216 would be incomplete if it was just me. So let me introduce you to my squad here. To my right, I have Ntana Komaweza, the father of the group, and someone really who's not just the Mexican wave. No, who's not the Mexican wave, but he certainly is the Mexican wave. Okay. Bit by bit. I'm good.
I'm learning.
I mean, it is development football. We're also developing broadcasters. So don't be surprised if you see Lebs are sitting in this chair come next week. Well, on the other side of the chair, well, of the room, we also have Orapeleng Mohaki. This is a guy who is raising his own star in his house. He plays for Rambek AFC, banging goals week in, week out. Your little one is such a delight.
Thanks, you do. But you know, Naka development football winner. So it's nice to see the little ones, you know, doing it for themselves and, you know, getting encouragement. But it's Monday. Good to be here. The grand.
Yeah, everyone is certainly in high spirits, yeah. And one thing that we certainly do right on the show was bridge the gap between the yesterday's generation to the generation of today. The story's been told over and over again, but it's one certainly that we not get tired of listening to. His name is TEKO MODISE, all the way from Meadowlands. You know him today as a fashionista because probably only 2000. But no, this is the original number 10, but then he wore number 11. And today we classify him as a Sundowns legend, but you also know him as someone on SuperSport who shares his insights as a pundit. Don, good evening.
Good evening to you guys. Bishop.
The real
We're
Jersey number
good.
10.
No.
We're
Thanks for having
good.
me. Thanks for having me.
You have so many nicknames, right?
Yeah.
And nicknames are such a big part of the beautiful game.
Yeah.
People don't have enough nicknames today. Why is that culture dying?
I think, I mean, in history and in our culture, those nicknames used to be given by Matai Madulanko Strateng, Matai that has watched football at its interception. But right now, we don't have those type of nicknames anymore. And in the beginning, you used to have a nickname based on how you play.
Yeah.
So now you find people with nicknames of people that are playing up front, but you're playing as a defender. So nicknames are just being given out. So is numbers. Things that used to be important in our football culture, they no longer are.
Yeah.
And that, I think, it should come back into, like, if you're wearing number 10, you're the person that actually has to now help the team, the person that we're looking forward to when ships are down, you're the person that inspires the whole team. You should be wearing number 10. Lately now you find number 10, number 10, you know what I mean? Yeah, so things have changed a little bit. So nicknames used to be a big thing. Jersey numbers used to mean a lot. And certain teams as well, that's still a culture that's still happening where jersey numbers are still an important part of the team. But that's why I'm saying, like, there's certain teams that you can't just walk in and just wear a certain number because of the people that wore before you. There's so much that have done for the club. And I think if we can go back to that, I think players will find out or realize as well that you need to deserve to wear a certain number. You need to deserve to get a certain nickname.
It's exciting that you say that. And one of the things that you've reiterated in the past is footballers aren't exclusive anymore like they used to be.
Yeah.
And people will meet you and be like, yeah, but they were so arrogant. But it's just like, you're supposed to be exclusive. It should be a privilege to talk to me. How then do we go back to making footballers exclusive people that we want to consume on a weekly?
It's impossible with the social media. We're able to access people that we couldn't in the past. It's easy to access you. It's easy to access me. It's easy to access you because of the social media. And in the past, you needed to be talented for you to be known. So now you don't have to be talented. You can dress well. You can, post good content, and everybody will know you. So it's very, very difficult. And also, life has evolved. Football has evolved as well. So a lot of players are looking into getting to space or becoming a brand, becoming a face of a certain brand. So you can't really have that exclusivity anymore. So it's just a matter of now players now going back to then how then, if you are known, what are you known for? Because a lot of footballers are known, but what are they known for?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest question for me, because I'll bump into the street, I'll bump into people that speak about a certain player, like, but what is he known for? If you're known for football, okay, are you that good? You know? And I still feel, Hore, we get so many footballers that are unknown, but they're not known for being good on the pitch. They're just known based on whatever that they're doing outside of football, which is something great, because David Beckham was not the biggest star, right? Because of the other things that he was doing outside of football, but he changed the culture. So if you're not known for being a better footballer, a good footballer, what is it that you're doing outside of football that is actually propelling or changing the culture?
But it's interesting, né? Because then that means we're going to still cry and say we have empty stadiums. Because if I know you for more than just the football, and the football's the last thing on the list, why must I come watch you?
Hey, that's a challenging one. But I still say fans are coming to the stadium to actually watch the game, and there's still bragging rights. There's still conversation of football. I think fans are still coming to actually witness a better game, a beautiful game, but also now they all selective as to then who plays who for me to go to the stadium, because I'm anticipating such a big game. Like, for instance, yesterday there was a draw. We know the semi-finals of the MTN8. We know that will be a sold-out affair because of the bragging rights, because of the rivalry that these two teams have formed within the past years. And we know there's going to be conversation about the individuals, but after that, then it's going to die down a bit until we actually have to have a bigger game for people to come through. That's something that you can't change. But in South Africa, especially in Joburg, I think we're so spoiled because of every big team is here.
Yeah.
So we don't attend games the way we should, or we attend games the way we used to in the past. But when you find a big team going to Durban, going somewhere else, you see a good number of people attending the game, because they starve football, they starve these big stars to actually come and watch, to come and play in their home ground. So that is something that you can't change, honestly.
Yeah.
TEKO, nice to have you here, man.
Away.
Yeah. So as now I'm pro development. So I'm gonna just take it a little bit back, return into the development side of things. I mean, we've seen the national teams, the youth ones, under 17, under 20. They're doing very well currently. But according to Anna, do you think maybe we are doing enough as a country to unearth the talent? Because the talent is there. We've seen week in, week out, we see it on the Gauteng Development League. We see it tournament like Bobehi, Libo Engine tournament. Do you think we are doing enough? And then what is it that we can do to go out? I mean, it's kind of hore, but see people that are known. Can we go further than outside Gauteng to get the talent?
I think it used to be like that in the past, where we know when you go to Durban, you find a certain type of a player that plays a certain position. You go to Polokwane, you need to know in every areas, but because football was the only thing that we wanted to do. Now there's so many options to do. Many youngsters don't want to be footballers. They want to be cool. And what is cool? So you're getting exposed to maybe being a DJ, being a socialite, being all this things. So everybody now has so many options to do. So now, even if we do find talent, it's easy to give up because we've got options. We've got options to do certain things. So Rona, we had no plan B, plan A and plan B and C. Yeah, but also we need to give credit as well to the DDC. I think the success at DDC actually now is taking us back to really, really focus on development. And also, maybe from a DDC side as well, the success, Stellenbosch, success, SuperSport United for bringing all the younger ones into the PSL. I think that has changed how business has been done in South African football. Because in the past, we have youngsters, but nobody really gave youngsters an opportunity to play. But since DDC Ito, when you look at the coverage that it has, many youngsters that still believe that they can actually make it in the PSL, they still want to play in those type of spaces. We still have parents that actually still take their kids to weekend games. So they still have that idea. So there is an opportunity to play football. So it's not like maybe 5-10 years ago where everybody didn't want to play football anymore. Well, Khotsugo guys used to go, you'll see kids playing in the street football. So now it's no longer that thing, because everybody now wants to be something other than football. So now DDC has brought back the love of the game from the kids as well. And the likes of Rele, when the Reles are doing well from the DDC, you can just imagine the inspiration that has been happening across the country.
And the other thing is, I think these boys now, I don't want to say Baba big-headed, but under 13, every Sunday they have live game on TV. I mean,
that's where the problem is.
At your age, when you were only exposed when you were NFD, but never before like that.
Yeah.
What is the advice that you can give these young boys? Because now, when I lead social media accounts from under 13, when I lead social media, they are big, they are on TV, every week in, week out, they're on TV.
It's the problem is us now, the broadcasters, because now we profiling them too soon. I'll give you a practical example. When I joined the Bafana Bafana that I joined, 90% to 99% of them were overseas-based players. I needed to be on the queue for me to get a profile, to get a 2-pager from Sokala Doom. You know, so I needed to wait, regardless of how many games I've played. So there was a queue. I needed to do something in the national team for me to get profile. So now you always have that thing, or in the Bafana Bafana J. So you're working a little bit harder. So now you're getting kids that are exposed as 14, 12, 13. And then once they get to 18, they have this little bit of fame. So now that's fame for them. And not understanding that there's more to it. But also, it comes back to what are you playing football for?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people, like I said, you want to be cool, you want to be known, you know? So we all have our insecurities, and sometimes football helps us to actually, you know, overlook the insecurities that we have. But we'll never have so many players that wants to play football for the love of the game. Others will play football because it's an escape. Others will play football because just they're talented, or maybe so we all have different reasons to play football. But I still believe it's us. We profiling these players too early. Remember, there was a time where a player came on the national team, para number 17, but the next penny market, we're still waiting.
Hey,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're profiling players too soon, and we're losing players in that process because we're giving them so many nicknames. We have this, you know, expectations from them, but we don't allow them to grow. 13-year-old, why are you profiling a 13-year-old? We need to allow them to grow. We only know about Messi, what he used to do at 13.
Oh, yeah.
No yard. But back then, they were protecting him. You know, so Yamal now, the same thing. So in South Africa, we're not doing that. So we're profiling them too soon. By 21, our players and then we're asking ourselves why. Because we're profiling them too soon, and that's the biggest problem. And I think it's us as broadcasters and journalists as well. We need to protect the players. If we really want development, we really want to find the next Dr. Kumala, the next Jomason, we need to do better because we know what fame does. We've seen them. We've seen fame along South African players. I've played with guys that are more famous than me, but we saw what fame does. And fame it's one of the biggest addictions in South Africa that we have.
I navigate our wheel of man. So now my question is, she said something about Hoka too much in terms of the nicknames. You spoke about the numbers.
Yeah.
Do you know back in the day, Rodman, the impact you had in young players? Everyone now about not to go MODISE, even a defender na faka jersey number 11. So now my question is, how do you stay relevant even today? Even today, young players now, because you very sharp, we still see you now, now or something broadcaster. So how do you stay relevant, and how do you keep, you know, a cool head? Even though but I'm still I'm willing to give back to the community.
You know, the thing is, like, when I was playing for Paris, I think that's when the whole country got to know who I was. I think I had a problem with that because I didn't want to be known. I just wanted to play football. But playing for such teams, when you're talented, obviously you're going to be known. And that, you don't get to be taught as to then how to behave when you're known. So we didn't know. You learn as you go. So Nigrato hired too much, and people say, he's arrogant. No, I've got anxiety, social anxiety, you know. And for me, it's because I love the game so much. I just wanted to play. As much as I understood what was the noise around me, but I knew the noise only comes when I'm playing well on the pitch. So my focus was that, right? And Lino, like, for me to always constantly trying to elevate, evolve, it's because I love what I'm doing. And I make sure that I get into spaces of things that I love. And by doing so, which means I'm not trying too hard, I'm not trying to do it, I'm not trying to please anybody, it's doing things that I love. So they come natural. So now when people say, why are you staying relevant? It's not because of relevancy, it's because I'm doing things that I love. I'm in broadcasting, I'm a pundit because I love football. I'm not gonna be a coach, I can't be a coach, I don't wanna be a coach, but I can still, you know, give back to football in different ways. You know, I'm still involved with Mamelodi Sundowns from whatever position that we're at for different reasons. I'm still ambassadors for other companies as well for the different reasons, not just football. And I strongly believe because we never had so many people that were doing maybe what I'm doing. And if I can, I mean, so many guys can actually do it. So maybe in hindsight, it's maybe me opening doors and making sure that they actually understand that it's actually possible. We don't. The stereotype of footballers are being stupid has gone now. So now it's about what is it that we can do? Because we've seen other people from different sectors coming into our own space. We've seen actors coming into football. We've seen all these things. So we need to see footballers as well evolving, get into other things, not just in fashion, but get into other things as well. We want a CEO that is used to be a former footballer. We need COO, we need those type of things. And I strongly believe that with encouragement that has been happening around, You see a lot of kids now that's still going to school while playing football. Now you have to have two choices. You understand? So now there's those encouragement for kids to go to school. So I strongly believe that in time, we will have those type of players. And we need also former footballers in administrative positions in football for us to actually evolve and change. From a PSL, from SAFA, we need those. And and now with the generation that we have right now, I strongly believe that it's possible.
Yeah. You've always wanted to be known just as someone who plays football, right? You didn't want your background to be what people know you for.
Yeah.
And I think even now, you already know, like, if someone has a conversation with you and there's certain things that they don't pick up, it's like, okay, they don't know me, but they know me for what I want them to know. What has always been that thing that pushed you? What was your why?
Yo, my why, it's a bad Yeah, but the one that I'll give you is like the fear of not belonging, because I didn't belong anywhere when I was young. So I knew if I don't succeed in whatever things that I'm doing, there's nowhere that I'm gonna go. Because I used to remember even when I first joined Ria Stars as a young player, off-season players will go home. You know, off-season people are going home, they're going to chill with their families. And all these guys are gone. So when people are gone, I'm training. Because I mean, there's nothing to do. So I'll start training and I start fantasizing and picturing myself playing in the PSL and all those type of things. It's lonely. It is very, very lonely. But that was my why. Or I can't fail because I don't have any place to go, you know? And that was the driving force. That's why when I became what I became, I didn't want people to know me from... Because I can't use that as my excuse. That was my why for me to get here. Don't use that, now you look at me different. No, I still want you to look at me the same because I worked hard to be here. And I know sometimes you get people like, I got it, maybe he was so lucky, he was fortunate. I wasn't. I worked hard. And I've seen people working harder than me, but also maybe with a little bit of luck, things didn't go their way. So maybe now, unfortunately, I had a little bit of luck, but also the persistence. When somebody says, no, okay, get out, I'll work hard. And I think that's the reason why I'm still here. It's constantly feeling worried. I can't fail. I really can't fail. Yeah.
Psychologically, we don't talk about it a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's even it starts at a young age, even at development. You find a child, they start at a Chiefs, and then after that, probably Chiefs doesn't renew them and they need to move to a lower club, right? And it also happens at pro level.
Yeah.
How then do we psychologically train these kids from a young age to keep that hunger?
And I think that's when now the parents, the guardians should also play a part.
Yeah.
You know, they should also play their part because as kids or as a pro footballer, when you're being challenged mentally, you need somebody that you can confide in, somebody friendly face, a familiar face. And I think with the young kids, that's where the families, the parents need to play that role. Because sometimes as coaches naturally, they neglect because they've got so much stress, so many people to look out for.
Yeah.
They sometimes neglect that part. And also from football inside, we need to prioritize that. We need to have teams that actually have a sports psychologist in their background. As much as we have doctors and physios, we need to prioritize that because we need to stop that cycle of, we need to diagnose what's the problem for them to go there. Because we can't have that as stories and being proud of and always interview people. No, guys, we need to stop that. We need to stop embracing that side of footballers. We need to start, having positive conversations around football, because then you want all these kids as well to understand that even if football, you're not gonna become the most successful footballer. There's certain things that you can actually do. There's administration, there's coaching, there's this. And also with that, it comes from the team, it comes from the club owners, it comes from the parents, the friends as well. It really, the community as well becomes such an important thing, because also from a footballing side, now we need to start speaking about it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we didn't know what it was. You didn't understand, like, oh, Jimmy, but you couldn't find the right wording for it. But now we know. So now that we know, we need to be able to pick those things a little bit sooner so that we can, diagnose them and solve them a little bit sooner, so that we don't lose players on that type of situation.
Funny, the question that you do ask about your life and everything.
Yeah.
I've read your book, I think 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And funny, when I read your book, I hear your sound while I'm reading your voice.
You read it in his voice.
Yeah, I read it with his voice. But, Teko, I want to just to extend it to say, do you think, maybe, Lona, as former football players, if maybe you get involved into the development side, like we have a team from Katlehong, they call it Kathoras. I mean, we don't want to say disadvantage, but there's a team that we see they are trying really, really hard. And it's one of those teams when they try to build, Kaizer Chiefs will come, take their player, Sundowns come, take their player. And then the players, other thing is, how do we motivate those guys to say, guys, we're not all going to make it at the youth development? Like, that's the bottom line. Not everyone is going to be a professional player. So you think maybe you guys going out, speaking to those guys, can you, like, let them know, Hore, sometimes it's not going to happen that we're all going to get there?
I'll tell you, the challenge is, the biggest challenge as well that we're facing as former footballers is the football its entirety. I remember more space in say, because you know too much. I remember. So it becomes a challenge now. Even if I have to, maybe very rare former footballers are coaching Kodi DDC. They're very, very rare. And I check or batwa kai before by a good club on sale. Because football it's in club owners in there's something when you know too much, then you become a problem instead of using the knowledge that you have. And even if we go to those underprivileged teams to actually try and give motivation is not enough. You really want a financial support, some financial backing as well, to be able to give these boys an opportunity for them to actually prepare. Because you can have the most talented player, but if they don't have opportunity, you don't create opportunities for them, it doesn't really matter. Motivation is not going to help them to do anything. And I strongly believe that us as footballers go in there, they don't even know you, they've not seen you play. But if you come there with something to give, I'm telling you, because that will stay in their memory for the longest time. Yeah.
Dona I know why tlatlamola. So many very good players from the development side. I mean, so now, according to you, I don't want maybe you can that you see yourself in, not no, but you see that their journey only if they stay in line. Now at the moment,
I think right now the one that stands out, Vboy.
Emil Vboy.
Emil, yeah. I think I think he's gonna be one of the greats. and with that say, which means sometimes you just need a good environment for you to become better. And I think where he is right now, it allows him to grow, because that's something normally we don't allow young players who are talented to grow. And if Cape Town City can allow him to grow, it's never too late. I get professional football, I was 25. But the impact that I had, you would swear, or 2019, stuff like that. So if we allow that boy to grow, I can promise you right now, it's going to be the best thing that we've ever seen. Because at a young age, the things that he sees, you must understand, or I only realized really maybe 2 seasons in, I'm like, he's such an intelligent player. That boy, first game, I was like, this boy, you know what I'm saying? And he's younger than really. So we need to have those successful stories about really the vet boy. We need to have more of those, because in the past we used to have a pool of players. Right now, if I have to ask you who are the best players in the PSL, you'll pause. Before you'll name every player from Celtics, wherever the case might be. So we need to have those type of players more, but also we need to allow them to grow. Even if a vet boy goes to any PSL team, you need to allow him to grow. Don't throw him in the deep end. Not everybody will be a relay. You understand what I'm saying? Not everybody can acclimatize a bit quicker like really, but you need to allow them to grow into the game, because what's important, it's the journey. Sustain this footballing thing for forever.
I want to know, if we put up an academy and we're developing little TEKO MODISEs, let's talk about the key components that we need in that academy, and let's all talk about the characteristics that we embed within the young people.
Yeah, because also the challenging part is because I never really had an opportunity to play in any academy. So I just got it from Golpukong and straight to the PSL. So I never really, I only got coached, honestly, when I joined SuperSport. And at that time, and I strongly believe with what's happening right now, with what we read and what we see, and when we speak to other people, it's just to keep those boys into that structure, because football is teaching you certain things that life can't teach you. Now I've learned everything that I know today because of football. And it teaches you those things. It teaches you teamwork, tolerance, all these other things that you're going to need in life. And also we need good structures as well, because many footballers are coming from disadvantaged families, and they will need to find a safe space. And if that's a safe space, then we're able to keep them a little bit longer, because then they know that there's elementary or babatlo into wrong yards, or because of now there's this place where they give him so much joy. So that's why I don't like coaches that are taking the love of the game from these boys. Because you need to understand, if it's a 12-year-old, treat him like a 12-year-old. Don't
Allow
talk
him
to
to
him.
grow.
Allow him to. Don't talk to him like you're talking to a 22-year-old. You understand what I'm saying? I'll see the coach this shout. I'm like, he's 11. He needs to understand. He needs
Allow him to grow.
Allow him to grow. And at that, we don't need to lose players at that young age. So you need to create an environment where they actually love doing what they're doing. They love coming there. They love winning. Instill the mentality of winning. Make sure. Let's not give the medal for participation. No, instill winning mentality at the young age. Or a more winner, you get a prize. That's why I always scale. If you're getting good grades, you're getting something as intensive. Football should be the same. And I think once you have that winning mentality at a young age, and also creating a safe space, I think you get to have not just good footballers, but good people as well.
Yeah. I mean, this is why, right? Most of your podcasts have, and most conversations, you have a part 1 and a part 2. Because there's so much to unpack, yeah? But just finally, before we do let you go, I want to know from you. You don't necessarily care about the accolades. You don't care about being celebrated. But I want to know from your end. Obviously, you are a former footballer, now a pundit and a broadcaster. If I were to put your picture up at OR Tambo, right? And your son gets to see it each and every time he passes. Which words would be next to the picture of TEKO MODISE? And I use your son because I know that's someone close to you.
I love that boy. Let me see. That's a difficult one because how I feel about myself changes every day.
Ooh.
It really, really changes every day. And sometimes I get to a low of the lowest.
Yeah.
And feel like, but what am I doing here? And then sometimes I get the high of the highs. For now, like I've never had the middle ground. So it's either I'm low and I'm too high or I'm high. But what I would like him to see or maybe to know is I'm one person that never really, really gave up, regardless. And I never used my circumstances to be a reason why I shouldn't succeed.
So it would be never give up. Don't use the circumstances to not succeed. Papa Khosi.
Papa Khosi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, he gave birth to a king, and surely, and we do hope that he possibly does play football, but just judging from his character, he's going to let him do whatever it is that he wants to do. His name is TEKO MODISE. We want to make sure that you go absolutely nowhere. Football on 216. Let's continue after this. Well, share your favorite moments with us. Anything that's got to do with development football, use the hashtag. It's hashtag football on 216. Where do you share it? You know, social media in English. No. Why did you guys love? Did you guys not expect me to know? Nice to see you guys. We've got superstars back in the studio after that conversation. You guys really need the water. What do you feel about that one?
No, the conversation was so insightful. TEKO MODISE is a role model to many. And South African youngsters, they can learn a lot from this conversation because he's so well-spoken. I mean, so eloquent.
Presence.
Like his presence, his aura.
Hey,
you know?
maybe some aura TikTok.
You know? But no, very good conversations.
And I'm going to I want to curiosity kuhlale sisho ukuthi football on 216. Okugcineni kumele sifundise lezi zinto ukuthi ungadlala ibhola bakhona abantu abafana boTEKO izinto ongazenza futhi noma usuqeda udlala ibhola uyambona usesenjani sesodiko hayi ukuthi njalo kumele maqeda ibhola or ungaqedi kube utshwala and then sesizobuya ngaso kwenza ama example njalo mesiye siletha ama example akanjeni example lento anedlala manje.
Absolutely. You guys were out in Pretoria this weekend for the very first time. We got to see the rookies of the lead. That was Raw Cavs who went up against the School of Excellence. And to many people's surprise, it was Raw Cavs that really put up a fight. They did not literally allow themselves to be walkovers, and they collected 10 points in the bag. Did you guys expect this one?
Aye, next.
Yeah.
10 points?
Mara
school of when?
ngishilo angithi ngathi lana siyaqoshwa sikuthe sikhona ku YouTube ngibukele le show yana ngishilo ngathi School of Excellence sonke futhi kodwa sishinto eyodwa sathi khona into engahambi kahle khumbula ukuthi besikhuluma ngama results
akuleli viki leliyana nakhona bebedlana ne-West Juniors I think and then babe nenkinga nalapho so bes expect ngiyazi ukuthi vele from ama-under 19 lapho kuyale phezulu uzokhumbula ama-under 13 phela School of Excellence last year abehamba edliwa but manje ayaqala ya-pick up so bengi-expectile mina iqiniso nje.
So Irokevs under 17s, the guy who's coaching there, Slindo, I did our KFC with him. Very insightful, and I want us to have a look at the first goal because they drew 1-0. But we had a conversation, and he told me something very important that I drew with Reza, a big team, last week. And then I need to get all the points versus School of Excellence. And they considered a silly goal, but we're not going to show that goal. I want us to have a look.
You're being biased.
No, I'm not.
Under 17?
Yes, sir.
You goalkeeper Katlego Ramutla?
Yes, sir.
And you goalkeeper Untswembu? Ramutla. Because now engine, kumbuluti lentana lesesencane ya qualify for under 17. But ma ukuthi engine kwi-tournament ama-under 18 bekwazi ukudlala uyibheke le yantwana leya sayibona eTsakane Stadium wakwaba khona la ishowini senza ngayo lokho Katlego Ramuhla so kusho ukuthi bekwenzakalani backline ubani kade bhet.
Oh, tell me, I'm more interested in the game inside. Let's have a look at School of Excellence and Rokev's under 17 goal. I just want us to have a look at this goal, and it's another set play. They're scoring with set plays, and set plays are a major factor to winning a game. You see that space there. If the boy could have just slotted into that space, he could have eliminated it for this goal not to happen. You get what I mean? So the game inside is what is prevalent now in the GDL. If you are sleeping, bam, Sukshani set play.
It happening at that level, at under 17 level, and these kids are able to identify those gaps. How excited are you for the future? But also let's talk about the evolution of the game.
Look, we are technocrats. We study the game every day, and we have sleepless nights. And when you plan something as a coach and it comes out the way you have anticipated for it to come out, you get satisfaction. And South Africa is in good hands. We have you as a coach now. So
anything is possible.
100%. And remember, guys, last week, who did we have here? Engine winners. Right? Under 19s, they concede a goal from lapse of concentration, guys. And again, the game inside, to me, is very important. When I coach, when I sit on the sidelines, I always talk about the psychological part of the game because that matters the most. Let's have a look at this goal, how they concede the goal, and I will dive into detail as to why the psychological part is very important. So this is a possible pass that could have played, but he is forced to come inside. Now the ball is lost where? In the attacking third. You get, they have long distances in between them and they are so disjointed. Obviously, with a team like Highlands Park at home, you are going to concede goal by losing position like that. So these are the elements that we have to focus on as coaches, that, guys, don't neglect the understanding of the game. Yes, you can coach technicality, but they need to understand the repercussions of losing a ball in that zone.
I wanted to ask then, when it comes to development, do we then coach the phases of play differently then? Just to know what is it that we're expecting from the players in different areas of the pitch? We
have to, 100%, because if you are not doing that, then you are not giving enough context to a player. Hypothetically speaking, you will get a defender during a corner. Obviously, I'm a defender, to compete. And then he would have a ball inside the 18-yard area. He's supposed to score. So that's not a familiar territory for him. He needs to be coached in that area so that he understands and they have context of what's happening around him.
When it comes to breaking down the game then, do you believe that at development level, the coaches are doing it correctly and teaching the kids that this is how we want to defend, this is how we want to attack, and you see it in a sense of, we have a session that is focused on attacking today, and then maybe tomorrow we're going to do defending only. Does it come across in development that the coaches are paying critical attention to those elements?
Look, it's minimal coaches that do that, but a lot of us, we want to see them play every time, but we don't do those steps. Remember, maybe when you do your KFC and KFB, you will learn about the 6 E's. those are the E's that inform you that you need to engage, you need to stop there and educate, you know. So those have to happen in most cases. But right now, a lot of coaches are not doing that.
Yeah, mhlawumbe ukade ku-question ka-Itu. So cabanga ukuthi wena coach kubaluleka njengento ekuthiwa iMamelodi Sundowns uzoyenza ukuthi kube khona ucoach wama-defender, ucoach walana, ucoach yeah. So usho ukuthi izohamba hamba ibaluleke kakhulu leyo nto.
No, look guys, it depends on the structure. Mamelodi Sundowns has the best facilities. They can afford anything and anyone. We can't have an Elspark hiring me as a defensive coach. They
Wow,
no, but I'm just saying, guys. It will help a lot in the long run.
Yeah.
But a coach has to be holistic. You need to understand a set play. You need to understand how to defend, how to coach defending, attacking, and regaining position.
It's doing the most with the little that you have.
100%, 100%. Let's move on to the next one.
Now,
yes, I'm now twisting it. So
Fly
Siya KwaZulu. Yes, guys, so I'm busy analyzing in the AMs. Now I'm watching Ikopo versus Clifton High, and mind you, the rankings. Ikopo is ranked 169, and Clifton High is ranked 25th in school sports in SA.
Now, look at that gap.
I'm now curious about this gap, how this gap is happening, you know, and they are classified, or maybe so ranking yabo, it works in 6 categories of sporting codes. They have water polo, which is Ukopo doesn't have.
Okay.
They have rugby, they have soccer, they have so multiple sporting codes, which they are ranking these teams. Like, to me, it's not making sense.
And also, don't other leagues also then use how many games that you play, right? Whether it's the league games or your personal friendly games, but it's not every game that gets counted that helps you with your ranking.
No, basically everything. There are performances that are counted, but you cannot rank me with something I don't do.
Yeah.
You know?
Because uma ubheka la bengibheka ama-states last year, Ikopo actually iphezulu Clifton ngebhola. Ngithi khona ngebhola. So last year bebehleli number 5, Clifton beyithe kuba phansi. So kusho ukuthi ngebhola ngoba angicabanga ukuthi nale game lo obukhuluma ngawe na coach Ikopo iyona egcine winile kulo mdlalo. Kusho ukuthi ngebhola ungaba nswempu, mara ama-water polo, i-rugby, especially mina ngibuye KZN, yabona i-rugby mhlampe khani siyingenile ngoba sengihambile, yabona KZN mhlampe bayibalekisile. Bengingayazi i-rugby kakhulu KZN. Iball and rugby iyona enamaphuzu amaningi angithi ama-points amaningi.
Yes, 2 points. They give rugby 2 points, and then soccer, cricket, they give them 1.5. And then water polo, basketball, they give them only 1. I want us to have a look when how Ikopo dismantled the 25th ranked school in South Africa. And I want you to have a look at the goal and tell me what you think, because this, to me, this is a big gap. 169 versus 25th. And you are ranking me, half space, Matoda. If this boy can get into that half space, he's defending it very well. But Pega, is it offside? No. Visionary Football Solutions will give it to you.
We're going to give you VAR
Composed, yeah. So GDL must come with VAR. I have the
You've got the
facilities and the eye.
Maranong coach, coming to self-fetch go buana na gore Ikopo ke e bolaile batho ne. So for me, ba buile bo sefiso bo itumeleng ba buile gore o ka se batle go mpaka go aka gore ke tshameka eng gagolo. Go Ikopo go tshamekwa inthat, go tshamekwa ball, football. So now you can't rate me and say, okay, in terms of metshameko, I don't have water polo jaaka o bua. So for me to answer you, gore ba khone go shapa yang team ile ntsa like bolo ke yone ba itseng thata go feta any sport. Ba bang go metsing aba tsene le go tsena. And it's not like
swimming pool go sekolo
ba bang, it's not even like they don't know how to swim, but facilities abu. So for me, gore ba gape so mo kgweleng ya dinao ntsa is because ba etsa yone thata go feta bo di water polo. So for me, ke malona gore it's unfair gore o ka raita motho ka selo se leng gore ha se dire. So tshwantse ba lebelle bolo and then ba focus mo yone gore ke mang o top ka disc.
Now let's take it up a notch. I want you to have a look at this clip again. These are under 14s from KZN. By Biza happy hour.
Happy hour. What is happy hour for somebody who doesn't understand?
Happy
Guys, I'm always against the concept of a happy hour because I pay attention to detail. The little ones, when you do this and it's not productive, I am going to fight you. Let's have a look at the clip and then dissect it more.
Yeah.
Look, these boys are leading 4-0.
Ainakho. Nakya.
I know we play. I know we play to enjoy, guys, ne? But is this productive? Is it productive?
I think happy hour, right? I think should be banned, number one. What I mean by it is allow the kids to express themselves. If a child or whatever, allow it only if it's progressive, like you were saying.
I think it's too harsh. Look, I know I'm a stickler for discipline, right? But I get your Emil.
Yes.
Emil is happy hour every day, every second, right? But now, as coaches, we limit these players. So we need to know when to tweak their mindset. When does happy hour work? And when does it not work? You understand? So the point I'm trying to put across is, guys, game intelligence is very, very important.
I was about to say psychologically, because you have a strong team that sees what it's happy hour, and then they take the ball from you, and then they catch up.
And then they score. Because we get fired.
Mara kunyemele sibheke bese kuba isikhathi ubani score and abantu abayenza abawungaki phela nanokuthi ubani oyenza kubalekile hayi ukuthi wonke umuntu
So not everyone is allowed.
Ucheck mina mangithi entwana ayisayishaya manje ngisho bani and leyo nto leyo mawuqeda iconfidence ye player lapha because ibhola lifana nomculo khona abashaya amanothi aphezulu khona abashaya phansi angeke ukuthi mina mangithi ngi-wrong nalotho
and at the same time, coach, ke dumela le Khosi Khadare ha ke re 100% ne ha re e fedisiwe. At the same time, the identity mfethu a batla go bona player a Mzansi o mmona ka eng o mmona ka go ipalama mara at the same time
it's in the philosophy book.
It's there. Samaya is there.
Hence I'm saying to you, coach, ne identity re bona ka eng ka go tsamaya, but at the same time o tsamaya ya kae.
Exactly.
abosamba le Brazil bayabashaya mfethu
Baya phambili.
Bengilapho last week mfethu. But guys, holistically speaking, let's develop a player that can defend and that can attack. A multi-positional player will give you multifunctional actions in the football pitch.
Well, there you have
Oscarinho, visionary football.
Need I say more? Absolutely not. Let's go to a break. Well, it's football on 216, the hashtag, the only one that matters as we talk all things development football. The HALALA Cup. I had to catch my breath. HALALA Cup. It's a competition that we've been following oh so dearly. And as you know, we're nearing the finish line where only one team will be the ultimate winners, right? Heronbridge College is where the final is going to take place. Gents, I want to know from you, any exciting prospects that you've notified or that you've identified from the competition? Any surprises?
Mina ngicabanga ukuthi ingisurprise yonke ngoba uyakhumbula lana senza
draw.
Ama-team wonke ngiwabalile ngathi ngithemba ukuthi aphumile TPM ayikho kufinali i-team Social Nguve. Mara nami sengiyabona manje ahlala semele ngithanda ibhola lesisabapha ngoba athi ama-team manje la
uthanda ibhola lesisabapha.
Nabo phela abantu disappointed abaselection. So yeah, ngisurprised kakhulu. Ngiyakhumbula impela ngiphamisa iSocial Nguve because beqeda udlala neKaizer Chiefs ama-under 19 akhona ngithi hayi izohamba ifikelele mara ibhola ngihlanisha ngithi alina defo.
La dina wa ena nnete ntse la ke wena Khosi Khadare banda ya ka bua Sifiso le rena re maketse gore a swambe kahle mo tlhopheng tse ditona le nna ne ke lebetse botlepeng ba tlo go tswela pele bo Social Nguve ke ba tswile mme sa go bontsha gore Kuro HALALA Cup kgetse daka e tla ka matla and ke akanya gore le batshameki ba ileng kwa ba rutile sentle Sifiso wa bua gore o tlo go simona rata kgwele e ya go ditshabapo itse ke fenye ke le tactically a sa go gibelo mo
before ikhuluma yadlala
usadlala
ngisesela
yabona eCuro alikitshelwa ntwana yami
Yeah.
lapha alikitshelwa
Ha, ngisakhuluma ngayo Kiro, ngibone enye ivideo yeintwana zaseClaphem abotsonga beshasa wathi bewina ngazi ngaku6 or something so unama ngisho ethi manje ngaya kanjani ngaliya kanjani.
Funny, I saw you doing that the past Sunday. I was like, what are you doing? Now Sunday, I see the guys doing
From the
it.
kids. It's from the kids.
Guys, getting into the cure, I think the initiative is good. I mean, it's the first time it's happening. I think the next coming year it's going to be big and better. So I think in terms of development, like I say, guys, like I advocate for youth development football. I think maybe even next year we could see them adding girls competition as well. I don't know, but the marketing team, Cure, I think they're listening.
Yeah.
So I think maybe next year they'll add the girls as well on it, and then
which makes sense.
I mean, talking about it being bigger and better, next year, obviously, we're going to have the girls' tournament.
Yeah.
It's officially been confirmed. It will be included. So that's also going to be exciting. As we know that our young girls don't have enough games. We don't have a solid league for them.
Yeah.
So I think it would also be an opportunity. Also considering the fact that this is a competition where there is some monetary incentive where the players do get and the teams do get. And I think that will better women's football.
Yeah, I think also how we are talent. I think TEKO the soccer position guys. There are teams telling hore we see weekend in weekend out. Some other teams when they do substitutions, that's something by Melomo I change the soccer boots, I change the shin guys. I think that money that the school gets, I think they should use it for the betterment of the sports, and then my fellow a chance to have equipment. How's like give FIFA law number among players equipment?
So, but listen, the Kira Halala Cup is certainly something that we want you to be part of. So you want to make sure that you get your tickets, and you're possibly asking, where do I get my tickets? Well, it's absolutely simple. We all on the top, on the WhatsApp, that is. You want to make sure that you follow SuperSport Schools on our channel. There is a link that you can use to purchase your tickets, not just yours, but also for a friend, for an auntie, for an uncle. Everyone in the family is certainly welcome. Heron Bridge College this weekend. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Camps Play, Glenwood High also are the two teams that really will be fighting for gold, but only one will reign supreme. The fixtures, as you can see, are currently going down on the screen. Absolutely love the team. Love the developments to the show, guys. I must say. No, it's just nice.
Flavor.
Moving from one competition to the next, as you know, August is the month of women where we celebrate them regardless of what age they are. And I think within football, it's giving young girls the opportunity to express themselves in a space that certainly in the past, they've been told that they do not belong. And so we're redefining those stereotypes and allowing young girls to play the game of football. We have competitions like the WAFCON. We also have the GAUTENG Women's Development League. And we have so many other leagues around where we just want to inspire the next generation and the next crop of players to do it, well, to play the game of football. And last year, we were out Koresa.
Yes.
And we got to find out about Refilwe, which is a team that is growing.
Too much.
Is growing.
Yeah, cool. And
one
when
thing how work Refilwe, sorry space. How work Refilwe, but ba hopolo Refilwe ko yone ke academy maths and science.
Yes.
Like a maths and
yeah,
science.
bengisakhuluma naye uGrotman besimbona lapha na kwi-engine knockout challenge nge-refill. Khumbula ukuthi leli iqembu laqalwa uma oled wakhe.
Yeah.
Urefile lo uma oled wakhe and ngiyakhumbula ngibabona laphana nami khona ingijabulisayo Kempton Park ladies team yaseKaslam le yase Davidson angazi why Kempton Park kwabo lokho but ngibabonile futhi na ku-engine knockout vele nawe uyasho itu ngiyacela ukuthi nomuntu uyabona SuperSport Schools uyayibona lapha ekhoneni ukuthi ilogo yethu ingathi no pink yabona ingathi no pinkish because this month #here for her kanjalo nje.
It's going to be exciting. I mean, you take a look at the teams that are going to be there. We have the likes of Tornado FC, Edenvale FC, Resa, Tux, JVW, Kempton Park, Panorama FC, Safa Academy, Mamelodi Sundowns. The list is absolutely endless. You can find the pictures right down on the screen. I'm going to enjoy doing this and saying this. And it's taking place on the 10th of August at Kuro Hazeldean. Kuro opening up their doors yet again, this time for the women. Kuro's onto something.
Kuro And ge dira ke utlwe o bua mo ka Safa Academy le Mamelodi Sundowns. Remember, ba tshamekile ko Engine Knockout Challenge. And Safa Academy in tsheditse ko ntle Mamelodi Sundowns. So gone yaanong re tlo go batla go bona gore maybe now it's payback time for setlhopha sa Mamelodi Sundowns kgotsa Safa Academy e tlo tswela pele. Se ke dumela tsone ke gore wena kgetse daka mo kgweding ya basadi e ka be re le daka tlhamalana re gona metshameko monate.
And we certainly hope that it's not just something that we're going to be doing in the month of August. We want to say we're here for her, not just in August, but in all 12 months. Yeah?
Yeah. I think ikhona space esingenza kanjalo because i-GDL ihlala idlala yabona. So sometimes yabantu besifazane, so sometimes sike sithi nje kushintshana hayi ukuthi njalo ngo-August, njalo nje sike nje ngoSeptember or nini kuthiwa sihambe siye ku-Captain Park sinayo festival nani yabona. So kuzongijabulisa futhi ukubona Safa Academy sisakhuluma ngayo into engifuna uyibuza bazoza nabonzuza or onzuza tebezele for the special tournament.
No, Nzuza ngaro joinile tax now. Ha ke lebella mo mafaratlhatlheng a boitapoloso. Bone kete Nzuza o joinile tax and then o gopole that team ya Safa Academy ke team e leng gore o gopola nto Mfuthi Khumalo Mtshitshwa gale fa re boleletse gore o busy ka project ko High Performance Center. That team ba dula ko High Performance Center. It's a team. So ke phulo e leng gore e teng for our national teams where they can go pick ko teng. And le ditlhopha tse dingwe tse leng gore di batla di-player they can go there. Ga o ka lebella go na le that lady from Limpopo wa mogopola Mkhari from Limpopo that time
Sisters FC.
Yeah, Sisters FC. Ba teng ka mo setlhopheng. So
Mbazo teng le ne mo re
ke coachara ya yona that Safa Academy. So Safa Academy ke team what does face?
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm sitting here, and I'm sorry, guys, but I'm sitting here, and the only thing I'm thinking about is TEKO sitting here. And I think the main thing that's echoing through my head is the fact that, yes, we all have our own different struggles, but those don't need to define, and that's not the one thing that needs to. When we lead our stories, that doesn't have to be the intro of who we are. Do you know what I mean?
A ke go utlwe ke a bona re mantlhaloganyo ga e ke a bona o naganne gore dio tsa gala di bua le nna. I mean no re motsa potso e no se na tlhatlhamola monata go na yone sentle. So for me, I think this episode ya gage TEKO MODISE it twisted heart, and for a young player out there, both boys and girls, ba tlo gona go tsaya sengwe from yene gore motho re mmone a simola go tshameka. Even now he's still preaching gore o itse keng go tswang teng doesn't matter. Se se botlhokwa ke go yang teng.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, what's important is what you do with what you have now to get to where you want to be. Okay, so just like that, we've come to yet the end of another installment of Football on 216. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We do it again bigger and better come next week, Monday, 8 to 9 p.m. And possibly we'll have another star sitting in the seat. But for myself, Itumeleng Khosikhadia Khabanda, Orapeleng Mokhaki, Lavakhang Mahume, Sisogutle Konkem Simang. And how can we forget? Coscarinho. Good night from us to you. We love you. Kaleratola love.
LOVE.
This is going to be worth the watch. What's up for grabs here? Kuro Halala 2025. 100,000 Rand for the winning score.